Welcome back to the War Corgi YouTube channel, where we just started a 3-player campaign for Blackout. Now, each of the supplements for Blackout come with their own 2-player campaigns, but as my play group consists of 3 people, we had to innovate a little bit in order to make it a 3-player campaign. Now, the campaign system I'm going to describe here today can be easily scaled up to 6 players, but in this case it's just for the 3 of us. So the campaign starts with a setup phase in which each player chooses the force they will be playing with for the entirety of the campaign. I will of course be playing with my beloved Harlow First Reaction Force, while Chris goes to his old standby Maticor Boars group, and Jim's going to be rounding that out by picking the UN, which includes both Raid Force Alpha and 3rd Battalion. Once those are established, the players roll a D3 to determine where their starting base location will be on our campaign map. And then everyone receives $1,000 to start the campaign. Now, these will be used as a resource in which they can take actions or buy perks for various battles that they're going to be participating in. The campaign takes place in the Badlands, and there are going to be 3 base locations and 6 battle locations on the board map. They're connected by roads. First one that we're going to look at is the airfield on the far west of the Badlands. And that's going to be a 3x3 board. You're going to bring 1 group, an additional infantry card, and 1 handler, and the bonus for that is going to be a strategic asset. Second location is the repair hub, where they're going to be working on robotics in that area. Therefore, it's going to be a 2x2 board with 1 group and 1 handler for that match. And the bonus is going to be the ability to get an auto turret. Next location is going to be the communications center, right next to the repair hub. That is also going to be a 3x3 board. We're going to have 1 group, 1 handler, and 1 vehicle participate in those battles. And the bonus is going to be control point. Next up is going to be the logistics center on the far east part of the map. That is going to be a 2x2 board. It's going to consist of 1 group and 1 handler for that battle. And the bonus each round is going to provide $100 to the force that occupies it. Next up is the Shanty Town. Shanty Town is going to be a 3x3 board. It's going to be 1 group, 1 handler, and we're going to introduce the Dusters for battles in this area. The bonus is going to be burn card. Next up is going to be the munitions factory, where people can go and get some extra arms. That's going to be a 2x2 board. It consists of 1 group and 1 handler, and the bonus, of course, will be an armory point. So that is all 6 locations that we have in the campaign. Players can choose from 3 attack actions. The first is to attack an adjacent tile from their base or from a location they already occupy. That's going to cost them $500. Or they can air assault their troops to a base that is not adjacent to what they can currently control for the price of $800, allowing a deep strike anywhere on the battlefield. And then lastly, we have plausible deniability, where they treat with some unsavory forces, either the Black Pact or the Impisi insurgents, in order to attack their opponents. Now, the advantage of the first 2 attacks is if you win, you gain control of that location. With the plausible deniability attack, if you win, it just takes control away from the player who is currently occupying that location, but you don't gain control of it. So it's really using those unsavory forces to disrupt your opponent and maybe cause some chaos in the back lines. It also gives us an opportunity to play with the Black Pact and Impisi forces, which so far have been a ball to play with without actually having to have a player represent them in the campaign. So even though I'm going to be playing Harlow the majority of the time, I am going to be able to play Black Pact and Impisi each round if I make one of those plausible deniability attacks. Pretty cool. The attacker will roll for a random mission on a 2x2 board. That's going to be a D4 for either Dockyard Assault, Server Defense, HVT Evac, or 0 Day. While on a 3x3 board, it's going to be missions from the new Labyrinth. So that's movement to contact, power play, death trap for 2, ammo dump, ambush, or data breach. At unoccupied locations, the defender will be able to choose the Op 4. That's either going to be the Black Pact or the Impisi insurgents in order to face off against the attacker. The attacker will choose the handler they want to use in that mission, but the defender will have a chance to outbid them for the use of that handler. So If the attacker picks the marksman handler, but the defender wants to use it, the defender can put forward $100 to steal that contract. It'll go back to the attacker, who could spend $200 in order to gain the marksman's use back towards him, or could choose another handler at that point. I think in most cases it's going to work out just fine, and handlers will probably end up costing both sides $0 as they pick different handlers. Either side can bring along a blacklist unit, either Zabla or Bannock forces, in order to supplement what they currently have, and that's going to take the place of a regular force card, just like it would in a match play game. At this point, players will be able to pick up additional perks for the battle. That can include a random control point, another armory point, a random burn card from the collection of 8, a strategic asset, or perhaps a defense turret. Now, it's important to note, should you hold a territory which has the bonus for that particular asset, you're going to spend $100 as opposed to $200, but both players will have access to all of these bonuses to make the match even. So at the conclusion of the battle, if the attacker wins, he's going to gain control of that location. If he loses, well then whoever had that location prior to the attack will retain control of it, or if it was unoccupied, then it's going to remain in Impisi and Black Pact control. It's going to go then to the next player in initiative order, who's going to declare their attack of either an adjacent territory, a non-adjacent territory using the air assault, or a plausible deniability attack. And that will follow the same procedure that we just covered. And these will continue to go on until no player either has the desire or the money to continue attacks. It's worth noting you can only make one type of each attack per round, so you can't spend $1,000 to make 5 plausible deniability attacks. You can only do that once per round. Once all attacks have been made, it's going to go into the cleanup phase, in which we're going to update the campaign map, make sure everything is straight, and then roll any remaining money over into the next turn. So just 2 other rules to talk about, and these are miscellaneous. The first one is going to be called Boots on the Ground. Only infantry units can claim objectives or interact with points. Vehicles and dusters can only contest points, can never claim them. Second one is going to be hidden bases, where you cannot attack an opponent's base. So they're always going to be adjacent to 2 territories with which they can launch an adjacent attack. So there's no way to take an opponent out. Our campaign's slated to go for 5 rounds, but we're going to see how it plays and play it by ear. Maybe we go a little bit longer. Or if we have any major revamps that we need to go conduct, we might just start this thing again. It is our nature to start but never end campaigns, so we'll see how far we get in this one. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any comments about our campaign system, go ahead and leave them in the comments, because I'd love to hear from you. We love to do campaigns here on the channel. It makes the game a little bit more interesting as you're playing for something as you're rolling those dice, as opposed to just a one-off match. And we do enjoy some of the strategic decision making that goes in the campaigns as well. So really love to hear your thoughts, and until next time, we'll catch you later. Bye-bye.